Good morning. You're checking in with us here at Atlanta News First Plus on this Saturday morning. Looking outside over Midtown right now, cloudy conditions. Helene is behind us. Lots to talk about as the focus now for so many people here in our area turns to the cleanup after that storm passed through yesterday. I'm Megan Packer here with Atlanta News First, updating you on the day's top stories. And we'll check in just a little bit with First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi tracking the forecast for the weekend and the week ahead, just as so many of you are outside right now cleaning up. A lot of people still dealing with flooding in North Georgia. So we'll talk about all of it. Right now, though, do want to get you updated on a breaking news situation from overnight. Two police officers were shot in Smyrna, and it happened at a gun store. So this was actually late last night. And I can tell you that it happened at Adventure Outdoors. Perhaps you are familiar with that store if you live in this metro Atlanta area. Really big gun store there in Cobb County. We know two officers were shot and wounded, and the suspect is dead after their encounter. The officers were called out to a burglary in progress call. We've learned that an employee told the officers that someone was inside. The officers encountered that man. They asked him to come outside, which he did, and they tried to get him into custody. But the Georgia Bureau of Investigation says that man got away and started firing a rifle that was slung around his neck. The two Smyrna police officers were shot in the leg. Three Cobb County police officers had arrived shortly before to assist in the call. They all fired their weapons, hitting and killing the suspect. That suspect died at the scene. He has not yet been identified. The two Smyrna officers were taken to the hospital for treatment. They are expected to be okay. We are hearing a statement this morning from Adventure Outdoors General Manager Eric Wallace. He wrote, "On behalf of the Wallace family and Adventure Outdoors, we want to express our deepest gratitude to the Smyrna and Cobb County Police Departments for their unwavering dedication and bravery during this tragic time. Our thoughts and prayers are with the officers who were injured in the line of duty, as well as with their families and loved ones. We are profoundly grateful for the sacrifice and commitment shown by every member of your departments in keeping our communities safe. Please know that the Wallace family and the entire Adventure Outdoors team stand with you, offering our full support as you navigate through these difficult moments." So that is the very latest right now as we learn more about the conditions of the officers, if and when they are released from the hospital. Any information like that, like the ID of this suspect, we will pass it all along to you here on our streaming platforms, but also on our Atlanta News First app, which is a great download to have. We're constantly updating stories there throughout the day. We have to, of course, talk about what's happening with Helene as that storm has moved out. But we know that sadly it claimed the lives of 15 people, at least in Georgia, including one first responder. This is Blackshear firefighter Leon Davis, who sadly died. He had just responded to downed trees and power lines when officials say a tree fell on his truck. So again, he worked in Blackshear, that is in Pierce County, far southeast Georgia. So many people thinking of him and his family and his department today. The flooding has just been so intense in parts of Atlanta and metro Atlanta. Look at these videos that are coming into our newsroom here. Just houses nearly underwater, cars submerged, rescue operations happening everywhere you looked yesterday. And really the good news is that there have been no major injuries from the flooding in Atlanta, from what we understand. We know the Atlanta Fire Rescue Department rescued more than 25 people who were stranded. We saw some incredible rescues caught on camera. And in some unbelievable shots like this, yards underwater up to the front door of homes, cars totally underwater. It's just been really unbelievable to see. And we've got some video here from Forsyth County. You can see bridges are underwater. This is boardwalks at the Big Creek Greenway, totally covered. So are the playgrounds and picnic areas at Sam Pitts Park in Clarksville. This is just a little snippet of what we've been seeing here in North Georgia. But we know it's not only Georgia affected by this. This storm moved on to northern states. Look at western North Carolina. Unbelievable images out of Asheville, North Carolina. The floodwater is so high here. Look at this Wendy's restaurant. It's almost entirely underwater. We only see the roof there. I mean, just think about that for a minute, just how high that water is. The rushing water was also so powerful there that it's moving dumpsters picking them up and setting them down. So it's really something else. And the storm system has not gone away either. So let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazzi to talk a little bit about where the storm system is now and how our weather is looking here at home for everybody that does have to get out and about and clean up. So we'll look at Midtown right now. No stormy conditions anymore, Courtney, just some clouds. That is, a little sliver of good news for people who are dealing with this aftermath now.
Right. Yeah. Thankfully, everyone will have an opportunity to clean up if that's in the cards today. The weather will be pretty uneventful over the weekend. Now, I can't say that it's going to be completely dry, but we're not expecting any kind of measurable rainfall. If any rain comes on by, it'll be quick passing and generally light for the most part. So it shouldn't impact any of the rivers and creeks in your area that are starting to go down or your cleanup process either. So just some really, really incredible images out of the Carolinas and Florida. This storm, one of the largest in decades in the Gulf, obviously very strong as well. Over the coming days, not only will we learn more about the storm and all of its diagnostics, but we'll also get some more rainfall totals. And that's even a maybe because you saw that video out of the Carolinas. Those rain gauges are probably washed away, so there might not be any telling what exactly fell there. It's all just going to be determined by how high the water lines are in restaurants. That's going to be how they determine how tall the floodwaters were, not by gauges, but rather by water lines in businesses and restaurants. So we're really thinking of all the people, not only in the Carolinas, here at home in Georgia, but also the state of Florida as well. I have lots of family and friends in that area. A lot of their homes, unfortunately, got flooded along the Tampa coastline. Also in Perry and Steinhatchee, Florida, where Cutter Martin was. I actually just visited there with my husband on vacation not too long ago and was able to get in contact with the host of the home that we stayed at. She wasn't sure the condition of it yet, but one of the restaurants that just got rebuilt over on Steinhatchee, it's kind of like a little aisle, not necessarily an island, but kind of an aisle that juts out from the Panhandle, or the Big Bend rather. There's a restaurant on the end of it called Roy's, and it just got rebuilt in April after Idalia in 2023, and it got completely washed away, just decimated. So after just being rebuilt, 7 months ago or so, 8 months ago, it got completely destroyed again. So we're really thinking about all the people, this storm really making a lasting impact, a lasting scar across the eastern seaboard here. So here's a look at post-tropical storm Helene. It is still spinning to our north, bringing rain now to parts of the Midwest or the Great Lakes region, I should say, Kentucky, Tennessee. Thankfully, most of our rain now done from that storm, but I will say we could have a couple of very light wraparound showers from that as we head through the day. Now, we do still have some impact lingering from the storm, and that's in the form of flooding. So flood warnings still in effect for the Chattahoochee near Fairburn, and these aren't all of them. I will say most of them are in minor flood stage and continue to go down, so that's not going to really have a great impact on surrounding areas, surrounding parks, surrounding neighborhoods. However, that is not the case for this. Sweetwater Creek in Douglas County, this is already inundating Mount Vernon Road in the Lithia Springs area. There's, I believe it's called Woodrow Wilson Park at the end of Mount Vernon Road in that area. That parking lot is more than likely going to be underwater as this creek is still expected to rise. It is supposed to go into major flood stage later tonight, and then it will finally start to go down tomorrow into Monday. Also in minor flood stage, the Chattahoochee here in Atlanta. So we'll keep an eye on the river levels. If they continue to go up or continue to go down, we'll let you know. Of course, if we think any is going to have an impact on some neighborhoods like Sweetwater Creek is over in Douglas County, we'll let you know. Regardless, we picked up a lot of rain. Of course, that resulted in not only the river flooding, but the catastrophic flooding in neighborhoods. The record rainfall for 48 hours in the city of Atlanta, 9.59 inches of rain. That was set back in the 1800s, very near to when we even first started taking record. The last 48 hours, yesterday, the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, so here in Atlanta, put this statement out that over the last 48 hours, from Wednesday, Thursday into Friday, we picked up 11.12 inches of rain. This is at the airport's rain gauge. So record-breaking rainfall. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, after they took this report, we actually did pick up a little bit more rain as well. So I do think that total is actually a little bit higher, but nonetheless, record rainfall. Here's a look at some extra rainfall totals. McDonough, Brasstown, East Point, Stone Mountain, 12 inches plus. Same for Greensboro, Dallas, Alpharetta, Griffin, 9 to 10 inches of rain plus. So the rainfall totals area wide over the last several days, starting Wednesday with our cold front and then through the entirety of Helene. We picked up a widespread about 6 to 11 inches of rain, if not even a little more in some spots. Again, thankfully today the weather a lot calmer. We will see mostly cloudy skies. If you're south of Atlanta, you might see a little more sunshine. And I do see, just going to put this up here for you, a little bit of blue sky here. So it's going to be kind of similar to outer rain bands, how you kind of get those little waves of rain. The clouds are going to kind of be similar because these clouds are all in the outer fringes of Helene. So we'll see kind of more peaks of sunshine at times and then overcast conditions at times, and kind of that cyclical nature of sunshine, clouds, sunshine, clouds. So expect that through the day today. If you live in the mountains, you'll be a little breezier. It will be more cloudy because you're closer to Helene's center. Of course, not necessarily a tropical storm anymore, but still a low pressure center. So you'll have some more cloud cover. And again, we'll watch for those wraparound showers to develop later today. After 4 o'clock is when the best chance, I think, across metro for rain showers is. Again, a lot of this rain will be quick passing and not necessarily going to impede any of your plans. But if you do have any events, again, across metro, after 4 o'clock and beyond, especially around sunset, it does look like that will be the best chance for rain for Metro Atlanta. So if you're headed to somewhere like the Braves game tonight, maybe you're watching some football, grilling in the backyard, just keep in mind a few showers will be possible, but it's not going to cancel any events or anything like that. It will be breezy today. So as you're cleaning up, just kind of be mindful of that. We'll have wind gusts anywhere between 25 to 30. We don't anticipate any additional trees coming down, but just still be vigilant if you are cleaning up today. Honestly, I think the breeze will probably help for those of you who are still without power. This will probably make it feel a little bit like you have air conditioning. This is nature's air conditioning for you. UGA at Alabama. Yeah, that's today. Big game at 7:30, excuse me. Braves are at 7:20. Tailgate time will be in the mid 70s, which is where we'll top out today. If you live in the mountains, though, you're only going to hang out in the 60s today, a little cooler for you. Kickoff, maybe a couple of showers, and then post game will be in the 60s. If you were headed to Tuscaloosa, you probably should have already been hitting the road by now, but just to say it, Tuscaloosa's forecast is really similar, so we're not expecting any kind of rain delay or anything with that. Forecast for tomorrow, we'll see even more sunshine, maybe a few evening showers, about a 20% chance for rain tomorrow. The good news is this, even with the chance for rain today and tomorrow, we're not expecting any measurable rainfall. So I know even just hearing the word rain in the forecast for the weekend might make you a little uneasy. We are not expecting any kind of measurable rainfall over the weekend. This week will be mostly dry Monday, dry Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A few showers will be possible Friday. Unfortunately, the end of this upcoming week, we could be watching the tropics, specifically the disturbance that is trying to brew in the Caribbean right now, kind of near Nicaragua. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's take you out to the Atlantic. 40% chance of development on a wave pushing off the African coast. We have Tropical Storm Joyce, say that 5 times fast, that is currently swirling in the central Atlantic. It's kind of hiding behind that development zone there, that little orange polygon. But we have Tropical Storm Joyce, and then Hurricane Isaac is well to our north. None of these look like they're going to be an issue for us, which is good. This is what we're going to be watching, and this does look familiar, right? This is where Helene originated and then moved into the Gulf. So 40% chance of development next week. I do expect this to go up. We're going to be watching this very carefully. Some models do have it impacting the southeast. Other models kind of push it towards Texas. A lot to diagnose with that, but we're going to be watching the tropics very carefully. I know we don't even want to think about another tropical system right now potentially impacting the southeast, but we have to make you aware of what's going on in the tropics because we are watching it very, very carefully for you. So for the weekend, mostly dry. 30% chance for rain, mainly tonight. In the mountains, we'll really have the highest coverage of rain today, kind of on and off passing light showers. Near 80 both days. Mountains will be cooler. Today will be in the 60s. We'll stay in the 80s all week, so thankfully no more 90s as you're trying to get everything cleaned back up. Trying to wait for your power to turn back on. It's not going to be excruciatingly hot. And then we'll, again, be watching for some extra rain come Friday, and we'll be watching the tropics very carefully at that point as well. Way too soon to talk about where and when and how strong, but just know that we could be potentially watching a system develop in the Gulf again next week, and we'll give you all the updates on that as we can. But in the meantime, enjoy the calmer, nicer weather for the weekend because I know a lot of you probably trying to clean up and kind of get your feet back under you. Maybe you are just trying to have a little bit of fun this afternoon after a pretty gloomy and quite sad day yesterday. Maybe you're trying to head to the fair or the aquarium or the Braves game, anything like that. Just something to spark a little bit of joy after some really dark days the last couple of days. The forecast will cooperate for all of it, no matter what you have planned for your Saturday and Sunday for that matter. All right, everyone. We appreciate you spending some time with us here on Atlanta News First Plus for your news and your weather. We'll continue to update you on the forecast and today's stories throughout the day, including checking up on people across Metro as they do clean up after Helene. We also will have extensive details on how, if you need resources, how to get them, and how you can help people across the area to get those resources. We are partnering with the Salvation Army. You can find more details on that on our website. Make it a wonderful Saturday, everyone, and we'll catch you here next time.